we start this morning, please turn off any electronic devices that would interrupt the service as we go along. And I invite you to enjoy the chapel that's in the back. Also, there's a nursery downstairs for the little ones. After the service, we have hospitality for everyone downstairs. Please join us there for that. And there are many announcements in the order of service for ways to be involved in this very vibrant and amazing community. So please be sure to look at those. One special announcement is that there is a congregational meeting on December 14th. It'll be at 12:30, which is right after the service. And we're voting on our mission mantra and our mission and some bylaw changes. And so that has gone out electronically if you're on our list. There's also hard copies in the back if you'd like to see that and be able to know what we're going to be voting on. This is our president right here beside me, co-president Lori Shantz. And also on December 18th, sign up after the service today to go to the Utah Food Bank and help during this time of year when they are so very busy. And it will be an act of service that we're talking about today. And so please consider doing that as well.
Come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love, or how you speak, or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or with tears, you are welcome here. If you come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, you are welcome here.
Hi, I want to introduce myself. I'm Val Louise. It's been a long time since I've done a lay-led service. I've done it in the past, but then since then I've taught middle school, so this should be no big deal, right? Our service today is entitled Compassionate Services Spiritual Practice, and with that in mind, I bring to you the words of Dr. Rachel Raymond. She's a physician and an author. Service is not the same as helping. Helping is based on inequality. It's not a relationship between equals. When you help, you use your own strength to help someone with less strength. It's a one-up, a one-down relationship, and people feel this inequity. When we help, we may inadvertently take away more than we give, diminishing the person's sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Now, when I help, I'm very aware of my own strength. But we don't serve with our strength. We serve with ourselves. We draw from all our experiences. Our wounds serve. Our limitations serve. Even our darkness serves. The wholeness in us serves the wholeness in the other and the wholeness in life. Helping incurs debt. When you help someone, they owe you. But service is mutual. When I help, I have a feeling of satisfaction. But when I serve, I have a feeling of gratitude. Serving is also different from fixing. We fix broken pipes. We don't fix people. When I said about fixing another person, it's because I see them as broken. Fixing is a form of judgment that separates us from one another. It creates a distance. So fundamentally, helping, fixing, and service are ways of seeing life. When you help, you see life as weak. When you fix, you see life as broken. And when you serve, you see life as whole. When we serve in this way, we understand that this person's suffering is also my suffering, that their joy is also my joy, and then the impulse to serve arises naturally. Our natural wisdom and compassion presents itself quite simply. A server knows that they're being used and has the willingness to be used in the service of something greater. We may help or fix many things in our lives, but when we serve, we are always in the service of wholeness. So I'd like to ask you if you're willing and able to stand, and we have our opening hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
shadow sliding.
And we'll Samantha Perry come forward. And will you say with me the words that are in the orders of service throughout lighting our chalice? We light this chalice for the warmth that is created by service to one another and the connections that are created through that warmth. Thank you. Please be seated, and the young and young at heart, please come forward for a story.
Hello, all of you. So we're going to have a quick little story today. Oh, look. Hey, Samantha, what do you have there?
Oh, some sunflower seeds. You know those giant sunflowers? My mom loves them. I'm going to grow her some.
Oh, that's sweet. You'll grow them in your yard this spring?
No, I'm going to grow them right now.
Okay. Like right now? Like right here?
Yep.
Do you need help? I have some soil in a pot at my home in my home in the garage. I could bring them.
Oh, no, I have what I need in the bag.
Okay, good. Okay. Do you need some help? I love planting.
I'm not going to plant them.
You aren't going to plant them.
No. You see, I've been doing some reading. Did you know that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that everything that is dead in the world is dead by hope?
No, I hadn't heard that exact quote.
Well, he did, so I'm going to try it. I have everything I need to grow a flower, and I'm going to sit here and help really, really hard. I'm going to hope these flowers grow, kind of like an experiment to see if it works.
Well, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
You know, I think Martin Luther King Jr. was right, but I think there's more to it than that.
There is?
Sure. First, have you ever seen sunflowers grow out of the seed without any help? Without planting them or watering them?
No, not really, but there's always a first time.
But why do you think seeds are usually put in soil and watered?
Everyone knows that. It's because they grow best that way.
Okay, so do you mind if we plant these seeds in the soil?
I don't mind it. I think that we'll have a better chance of them growing. But then aren't we taking hope out of the picture? I mean, we know they will grow then.
Well, can we really be sure of that?
Well, mostly. I mean, we need to make sure they get sunshine and water.
Yes, and if you hadn't wanted something beautiful for your mother, would you have even tried to grow the flowers?
Probably not.
And then, are we sure these seeds will grow even if we add water and sunshine?
Well, we can hope they will grow, but some still might not.
Right, so some might not grow. Maybe we shouldn't even try.
No, because if people thought that way, then they would never even try to make things grow.
Oh, so that's where hope comes in, don't you think?
So is that what Dr. Luther King meant? If you want something pretty,
Or if you want something to get better, or if you want something to change,
you have to hope. But you also have to do something about it.
the world needs both, I think.
So, hope is an action word, isn't it?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Let's go see if we can find some water to water these seeds.
And if they don't grow, we'll just have to keep trying. Because my mom loves flowers. And also because I want to make the world a beautiful place.
Me too. High five for hope.
And action.
And now the kids can go downstairs.
The stone has got to be rolled back from the tomb again and again every year. Roll up your sleeves. He's not coming back, you know. He's not coming back unless it is we who rise for him. We who lay healing hands on the reviled and rejected like he did on his behalf. We who rage for righteousness in his insistent voice. We who love the sinner, ever knowing that the sinner is no farther than our own heartbeat. He will not be back to join us at the table. It is you and I who must feast for him. We must say the grace and break the bread and pass it to the left and dish up the broiled fish or pour the wine and pass it to the right and treat each person so tenderly as though just this morning they made the personal effort to make it back from heaven or from hell, but certainly from death, to be by our side. Because if by some miracle, and why not a miracle, he did come back, wouldn't he want to see us like this? Wouldn't it be a miracle to live for just one day, so that if he did by some amazing feat come riding into town, could take a look around and say, this is what I meant. And we could say, it took us a long time, too long, but we finally figured it out. Let us live to make it so. We are the resurrection and the life.
One way that we at South Valley support our community is to share our Sunday morning offerings. And today we will split our offering with the neighborhood house. Will you join me in saying the words that are printed in your orders of service for our offering? We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts.
W.H. Auden once said, "We are all here on this earth to help others. What on earth the others are here for, I do not know." Hey, how are we all doing today? I'd like to share with you one of the most rewarding service projects it has ever been my pleasure to take part in. Some of you may have heard of the story of Ethan Van Leuven. For those of you who haven't, Ethan was a young boy who lived in West Jordan, and when he was 22 months old, he was diagnosed with leukemia. He underwent therapy for 3 years. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. During the month of October, the doctors told us that Ethan only had a few weeks to live, and that's when the magic started. Ethan's community started in the beginning of October. They got together and they all went trick-or-treating early so that he could celebrate the holiday one more time. But they didn't stop there. The day after that, they all celebrated Thanksgiving. And the day after that, they celebrated Christmas. They planned one more event the day after that. And this was the most important of all, because the next day was Ethan's birthday. The groups Salt Lake Con and FantasyCon got together and contacted cosplayers from around Utah. They asked them to plan a surprise birthday party for Ethan and come dressed as his favorite characters. We all met at a church a little ways down the street from his house. We stood in the parking lot, and people went to the warehouses of the conventions and brought out the props. The police department came, there was news crews. We all marched down the street carrying banners with his name on it, and we paraded up to his house where he was waiting on the lawn. 5 days after his birthday party, Ethan passed away, but his legacy didn't end there. An anonymous donor started a page for Ethan, and they matched up to $250,000. All the funds went to the Huntsman Cancer Institute. I picked this story because I think it's important how one small life inspired so many people to do so many great things. Everyone who was involved in these events, they went to help not just Ethan, but his friends and family as well. It didn't really matter who you were as long as you were helping and who you were helping, which is really what service is all about. Because in the end, you're still helping, and that's all that counts. It's important to be a part of service opportunities around you in order to experience the joy of being human, because nothing brings you to life more than helping someone who needs it. It is my belief that service centers you as a person and defines who we are as a race, which brings me back to the words of W.H. Auden. What are we all here for? Thank you.
Social action has been and continues to be a large part of my South Valley life. In my previous incarnation as a public librarian, first in Park City and then later with Salt Lake County Library Services, I always liked the public service aspect of my job the best, helping people find answers, hopefully, and resources that they needed. When I retired, I discovered that I still needed to continue working or volunteering in some service capacity. The Social Action Committee here was the answer for me. I collected and delivered food for Crossroads for several years, and when Susan was looking for volunteers to help fix meals at the Homeless Youth Resource Center, here was another opportunity to put words into action. You get to work as a team of 3 or 4 people, planning, purchasing, and cooking up lunches or dinners for the youth and for the staff too, and they are very appreciative of this service. In this way, we are all connected one to another. The third volunteer activity that I really enjoy is delivering food boxes for seniors for the Utah Food Bank. This is a once-a-month activity. I don't do this by myself, but I get to partner up with 2 great friends, Rosemary McAtee and Myrna Wolf. We usually have the same 4 or 5 senior folks that we take food to. We've been delivering to one lady, Helen, since we started in 2010. Helen is 92 now, and we were invited to her 90th birthday celebration, which was a special treat for us. The other bonus for this service is rather self-indulgent, but we always go out to lunch at a new restaurant before we do our deliveries. I truly feel that my Unitarian beliefs are put into action by responding to the call for compassionate service. Thank you.
My name is Cody Pace. I'm a member here and was asked to talk to you a little bit about my personal experience of the compassionate service. All right, time out. Everybody stand up, please. All right, just stretch your arms out. Don't hit your neighbor. Because I don't know if the spirit here today is very strong. And so, I need a second. Okay. Thank you. Yes. So, I stand before you today, someone, I'm not sure that I understand what compassionate service truly means. By its definition, it implies something where it's a selfless lifting of others. But from my perspective, I generally walk away with more than I gave. I give of myself so that I can have that secretive smile, that warm feeling in my heart where I know that what I did made a difference. I give of myself so that I can hear conversations turn from the best sleeping spots on the street to which superhero could beat up which superhero. I give of myself so that I can watch children become children, if only for a minute, and forget that when those doors close, those doors have closed. I give of myself so that they may know a warm meal and a little bit of love, if only for 30 minutes during that day. And I give of myself so that I can in some way repay those that gave to me, because without their assistance, that's where I would have been. I cannot imagine what my life would be like had I gone down that road. And so I give of myself in an effort to lift others up. But I ask you, who gets more out of it? I challenge you in this coming year to find a way that you could have the same dilemma. I challenge you this upcoming year to find a way where you find yourself wondering who's getting more out of this, me or them. God bless you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Compassionate Service and Spiritual Practice meeting today. We appreciate the opportunity to explain a little bit about what the Social Action Committee does to our congregation and invite those of you who have not yet participated, if you would like to find your niche, find a place where you can make a difference if you would like. We've heard lots of different examples in our community that we focus on. I really enjoyed Emily talking about the things that the kids do. We have a very, very active high school group that does service every single month. This month they're going to be helping me at the neighborhood house build gingerbread houses with the kids on the 18th. I think that's in the afternoon. It's before the food bank volunteer sign up, so if you want to meet with Debbie and I after the service downstairs, we can get you signed up to spend a couple of hours in the afternoon and build some gingerbread houses with children. We're also taking sign-ups now for the senior delivery box program, which is what Dina talked about. It's not just seniors that benefit from that service. The people that I deliver to are adults on disabilities. Some of them are working a few hours a week, a few hours a month. Others can't work. But they really enjoy the company. My husband and children went once, and they asked about them every time now. They help me deliver boxes. Oh, here's some Halloween candy. Give this to your kids. Most of the time I do.
it's chocolate. What am I supposed to do with that, right? So there's benefits to the community, but also to us as well, which is what was touched upon by Cody. I have a circle of friends where we have some lively discussions sometimes, and one of them is about, is giving service actually altruistic? If you're really getting more out of it than you give, like, who's it really for? Just like has been spoken from here today. If it's for somebody else, but you get more out of it, are you really doing it for them or for you? And then is it really altruistic if it's for you after all? So I like the way Cody said it. Like, that's a wonderful dilemma to have, and it would be nice if all of us could find a place where we could ask that. So I jumped on that old google.com thing and found some research about giving that I wanted to share with you before it looks like we'll finish early and head down for coffee hour, which I hope you will, because we'll be continuing the conversations down there and doing some sign-ups and giving people an opportunity to ask questions. There was a research, the article I found gave 5 different reasons why giving is positive in our lives, like why gratitude is important. And the first one says that giving makes us feel happy. And it was a Harvard study, and it actually said that giving money to other people made people feel more happy. And they measured that by the pleasure that they felt, the social connections that they felt, and also through doing some brain research that it stimulates parts of your brain that are associated with that social connection and with trust. And the scientists stated in that article that they believe that it releases endorphins, producing a high that's called helper's high. They have a name for it. So that positive feeling is also known as helper's high, according to this study from Harvard. And then it was also replicated at UC Riverside in California. They encouraged people to do 5 acts of kindness each week for 6 weeks, and that they found that was the result, that there was a greater social connection, there was more pleasure, people took more pleasure in their lives, and they were more trusting after that. The second reason they gave is that giving is good for your health. And there's studies that show that it actually lowers your blood pressure, and they assume or can draw conclusions that that's because it lowers your stress, but the result is lower blood pressure. That's what you can scientifically measure. There was also this fascinating study, and it was replicated a couple of times, and it said that if they take a group of elderly people and they control for age, for exercise habits, for negative health habits like smoking, and then their overall general health, that they're 44% less likely to die in a 5-year period. They replicated it a couple of different times, so I'm not promising you like a long and healthy life and a 90th birthday party, but in these studies, with elderly people and what they used by volunteering, it was being involved in more than 2 or more charitable activities or charitable organizations a month. That's what it took to bring about lowering your blood pressure and a longer life. Number 3 is it promotes cooperation and social connections. There have been studies that show that when you give, you're more likely to get back, and that's where that altruistic thing comes in, is if you're getting back, is it really about doing good for others? But when you give to somebody, there's an exchange that promotes a sense of trust and cooperation that increases your ties to other people. And the research shows that having positive social interaction is central to good mental and physical health. So when we give to others, we feel closer to them, but also it makes them feel closer to us. Obviously, it depends on to whom we're giving, it depends on some other factors, but I know that the holidays are a really hard time for some people, and if you fall in that category, you might try that experiment, kind of like Samantha with her seeds. Just do an experiment and see what happens. I would suggest the soil, the water, the sunshine, but see if that helps with your mental or physical health to give of yourself to other people.
The fourth one is that when you give, it evokes a feeling of gratitude in yourself. And that's whether you're the giver or the receiver, then your gratitude is increased. They did a research project on gratitude and thankfulness to teach college students to count their blessings. And in counting their blessings, it caused them to have their own culture of gratitude. They exercised more, they were more optimistic, they felt better about themselves overall. And that can happen just from expressing gratitude to a close friend or a significant other. Just expressing that gratitude increases that shared connection and that overall feeling of help. The last one from the study is that giving is contagious. When we receive, we're more likely to give, and they say that it has 3 degrees of goodness that can come from it. When you give to one person, they give, and that you can actually start a whole community of positive things. I know that we do here at South Valley, we have a gift exchange sometimes between adults and children, and it's anonymous, and there's 3 weeks of giving. I remember Robin putting that on last year. It promotes the friendship, it promotes excitement, the fun, not just in being the one to receive, but the one to put the stuff in the bag and secretly hide it from the kids and set it up out here and then watch them open it and they don't know that it's you that gave it to them. But that feeling that comes from it, they actually say that it releases oxytocin, which is a hormone that is released during sex, and it's also released during breastfeeding. So it's a pleasure feeling, it's an overall warmth, a euphoria. If you want that, you don't have to breastfeed or have sex. You can just give. That giving can be contagious. So if you're missing a little of this or a little of that, and see if you can help create that euphoria, either in yourself or in others. And the symptoms with the giving, they say that it's been measured to last up to 2 hours. So, and that's whether you buy a gift for someone else, whether you volunteer your time, whether you donate your money, any act of giving can help create that contagious feeling and build stronger connections. One of the reasons that I love coming to South Valley is because of the social action that we do here. We have a committee that focuses on compassionate service. We have a committee that focuses on social justice. We have a committee that focuses on our environment, and each one of those here in Utah, all of those affect us. And so being a part of those at South Valley can give you a place to act out some of your frustration, a place to give of your time, a place to make a difference, either on a small scale here at South Valley, on a larger scale in our community, or even when we do guest at our table types of things, it makes a difference all the world over when everyone's joining together for the same thing. We appreciate all of you that give of your time, and if you're interested in joining up with one of those committees, please see Susan. She'll be around after the service also, and we'll be downstairs at coffee hour. Thank you.
Please rise as you're willing and able to sing number 121, We'll Get Along.
Everybody
put words and beliefs into action? And where would we be without those who helped us our whole lives long?
I'd like to close with some words by Emily Dickinson. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin into his nest again, I shall not live in vain.
Thank you for the music, David and Mary. We would now like for any visitors who are interested to let us know who you are, perhaps how you came to find us. We all believe that we are part of an interconnected web. We're already connected to you, but we'd like to know who you are, and then have that opportunity downstairs to talk over coffee and hospitality. Is there anyone who is visiting who would like to stand and introduce yourself? Thank you. Yes. And we'll bring a mic to you so we can all hear.
My name is Dee J. I live in Green Valley, Arizona, and attend the UU Church there, located in Amado now. And I am friends with Patty and Lou. And when asked in visiting my relatives here if there was one thing I'd like to do, I said, I'd like to go see their new church.
Thank you. Welcome.
And I'm the relative that lives now in Spanish Fork. And so my husband and I and our 4 little girls brought her up to meet you all.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Helene Edelstein. I relocated here, moved back to Utah several months ago, and I visited the other UU church, and I wanted to check this one out. I found out about it through Val, and I don't want to compare and contrast out loud, but it's very nice, warm feeling here.
Yay! Glad you're here. Anyone else? Okay, well, please do go downstairs for hospitality. We will extinguish our chalice. Please take the flame with you through this week, the warmth, and do as we all do through every day, taking care of one another and the people we meet each day is also an act of service. Go in peace.